No limit. We back, man. We back. Welcome back. NoLimitReacts, man. I know it's been a while. I know it's been a while. But we're getting back on the grind, man. We're gonna get to do all channels, man. The NoLimitPodcast, NoLimitPlays, the gaming channel as well, and the main one, No Limit. So if y'all have not, go ahead and subscribe to those as well. And yeah, man, we're gonna get into this. What happens after 30 days of cold showers? Now, I've heard about this myself, man, before this video. I've heard it has a lot of benefits. I heard, I just something about what keeps you more awake throughout the day, energizes you more, but I've heard more extensive ones than that, but I don't want to ruin the video by mentioning them. So we're going to get into it now. Let's see it, man. Let's see the physical aspects of it, as well as the mental. But yeah, let's get to it. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Oh, before I start, man, y'all turn the noties on, man. Hit that notification bell. That way you get notified every time I drop a video. And go ahead and like the video, man, and subscribe. Because NoLimitReacts, man, I need y'all. We got some catching up to do. Appreciate you.
Shower can feel very uncomfortable, give you goosebumps, and make your whole body feel freezing.
Bro, have y'all? No, I know. We're gonna pause a lot. We're gonna be talking, but have y'all ever really had a cold shower? I don't mean like, you're running out of hot water, it's a little lukewarm, I'm saying? No, I'm talking about like ice, motherfucking cold shower, bro. Cause I have, and it sucks. It's like, it sucks, bro. It's painful, especially when you just had a like steaming hot shower, so your body temp is like real warm, and the bathroom's all hot, steamy. Like your body's like heated and used to that warmth. You know what I mean? You've been under it for 30 minutes. And then I know I like turned the water off of me. Not turn it off, but just turned it facing another direction so I can soap up my body and stuff. Meanwhile, not realizing completely ran out of hot water, and then not just ran out of hot water, but like went to ice cold water in the meanwhile, and then just put it back on me and just like, it's like being burnt. It's like having scalding hot water. Like you just freeze up and you takes a breath out of you. You got to get out of it. But I mean, I had to rinse, bro. I had my whole body covered in soap. So I had to suck it up and just like little bit. And then but it's weird is mentally though, like you slowly get over it. Like, cause the more and more I'm under it, the more I can go under it and the more I can do. And then it's like, now I'm just showering under it and it's fine. But it's crazy how it can be, painful.
However, cold showers and cold therapy in general can help you feel more alert and energized. It can improve your health and can even help you burn fat. These are just
that's
some of
what
the
it's really
benefits that
like.
you can use to justify
help you burn
going
fat.
through
Okay.
the unpleasantness
Okay.
associated with using cold immersion as a therapeutic agent. And really, there are 6 amazing scientifically proven benefits when cold therapy is used correctly. And I want you to understand what those are and how to start using the cold to reap those benefits today.
Okay.
Now, the first thing that most people don't realize is that cold therapy can drastically improve your mood and your mental health to the point that it may even help prevent and even treat depression. One of the ways that cold exposure is able to improve your mental state is thanks to norepinephrine. When your body is exposed to cold temperatures, norepinephrine is rapidly released into the bloodstream. This is a neurotransmitter that's associated with things like vigilance, attention, focus, and mood. And this isn't debatable. The fact that cold exposure can increase norepinephrine is shown in
we might have to try this,
in mice and humans. Interestingly,
we might
when
have to try this.
is depleted
Unfortunately,
in a person, that person becomes depressed. And we actually see this in a study published in the Journal of Neuropsychiatric Disease and Treatment. That's why ice plunges and cold showers might help prevent and treat depression. The cold therapy drastically increases norepinephrine levels, which helps support a better mood and cognitive function. Now, of course, the question is, how cold should the temperature be to get the benefits of a boost in norepinephrine? Well, one study found that 1 hour of cold water immersion at a relatively regular temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit did not activate norepinephrine release. Meanwhile, 1 hour at 57 degrees Fahrenheit increased norepinephrine levels by a whopping 530%. Of course, 1 hour
Jesus.
sounds painfully long, but fortunately, you can get
Yes.
similar benefits in a shorter time frame if you turn the temperature down further. And we have
Oh
evidence of this.
man.
A long-term
Here
study
we
found
go.
that by immersing yourself in cold water at 40 degrees Fahrenheit for only 20 seconds and sticking to that routine consistently for 12 weeks, that can increase norepinephrine levels by 200 to 300%. And it
Damn.
could be possible that taking an ice bath in freezing cold water would require even less time to reap the benefits. Now, you don't want to go straight to freezing cold water. You do want to work up to it, and I'll go over that process in a bit. But first, you should be aware that one of the best benefits of exposing your body to the cold is that it leads to a reduction in overall inflammation throughout your entire body. Now, you've probably heard that
Ugh.
inflammation is the root cause of most modern diseases. And even though inflammation gets a pretty bad rap, inflammation itself isn't entirely a bad thing. In fact, it's vital for your health and well being because it's the first step of the healing process that's used to prevent further damage by eliminating the initial cause of the cell injury, and then the inflammation helps clear out the damaged tissues and the dead cells. This is actually what starts the process of repairing damaged tissues. However, when
So it's probably not, it's probably not good if you have like, inflammation all over your body in certain areas at all times. Like, it's probably not good, right? I'm just saying though. I know it's part of the healing process, but let's be real now, bro. But I feel like my back is a little inflamed right now. My face, my, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I might have to do this ice plunge. That's what I'm saying.
the inflammation process goes into
That's what I'm
overdrive.
saying,
So
though.
when you have chronically high inflammation markers for seemingly no reason, that's when inflammation causes a lot of trouble for a lot of people. For
Yeah.
example, as stated
Facts.
by the Harvard Medical School, chronic inflammation is associated with heart disease, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, and
Oh,
bowel diseases like
all of those are terrible, terrible things, bro.
Crohn's disease, and colitis. On top of that, research also identifies inflammation as the key driver of the aging process. One specific study looked closely at elderly people ranging from 85 to over 110 years old, and researchers found that low inflammation was the only biomarker that accurately predicted survival and cognitive capabilities across all the age groups.
Damn.
Remember that cognitive decline is what leads to the rising rates of dementia and Alzheimer's that we see today. The researchers also came to the conclusion that inflammation is one of the most important variables that determine mortality, capability, and cognition up to a very old age. So, according to the evidence, if you can reduce inflammation, it might be a way to increase the length of your life while also reducing the likelihood of you having to suffer with a chronic disease like heart disease, diabetes, or arthritis. And this is where cold showers and ice plunges come into the picture since they can help reduce inflammation.
Yeah, well, that one was obvious. I mean, the inflammation one. That's why I didn't even state it. But that being said, they've been popping lately. The ice is coming back. Like, I mean, they make their rounds every couple of years. It's been popping. It's been around forever, but thousands of years. But the cryotherapy treatment is like it's popping right now, and the cold plunges, and I don't know. I might to give it a shot though. I really do, cause but one thing though, I took the cold shower, and as bad as it sucked during it, like I felt great after. So there really might be something there. It just sucks. You got to go through that to get there, but it ain't bad, bro. It's like after the first minute or so, you get used to it. You know what I mean? So it's like swimming in the pool, the cold pool,
We're still
but
not
a lot colder.
exactly sure the exact mechanisms that lead to a reduction in inflammation, but the 5x
Yeah.
increase in norepinephrine that we talked about earlier definitely has at least something to
Norepinephrine.
do with it. Research indicates that norepinephrine inhibits the inflammatory pathway in the body by decreasing levels of a small protein used by the immune system known as TNF alpha.
Oh, that ain't
This
good.
is excellent news because TNF alpha is a very potent molecule that increases
Oh, it
inflammation,
increases it.
and it's
Okay.
involved in almost all human diseases, ranging from cancer to diabetes to inflammatory bowel disease. Research also
Oh,
shows that
damn.
norepinephrine decreases other inflammatory chemicals like MIP1 alpha, for example. Now, aside from norepinephrine, taking a cold shower can also reduce inflammation by simply
Damn.
lowering your body's
We're in class today, kids. Jesus.
temperature and causing your
I
blood
didn't know
vessels
we.
to constrict. And even though that sounds like it'll feel horrible and potentially get you sick, one of the surprising benefits associated with cold exposure is actually improved immunity. And this is once again based on science. We have a study, for example, that looked at whether cold water immersion at a temperature of 57 degrees Fahrenheit could impact the immune system in men that would spend 1 hour 3 times a week in the moderately cold water. Ultimately, they found that cold water
Water.
immersion 3 times per week for 6 weeks.
My man's from the East Coast, New Jersey, New York, somewhere up there, somewhere abouts. Yeah, but I was about to say, man, it's like, is this facts? Is this facts, or is this just some, you know what I mean, some studies you found? But it looks like that the stuff they got is facts.
Increase the number of lymphocytes. And a lymphocyte is a type of white blood cell found in the immune system. They help attack invading bacteria, viruses, and other toxins. In other words, cold therapy benefits immunity. This is most likely why we have tons of anecdotal evidence where people that take cold showers or swim in cold water claim to get sick less often. There's also other scientific data
I gotta
supports this
get you,
claim as
man.
well.
I got
For example, a study found that swimming during the winter months decreases the incidence of respiratory tract infections.
Bro, you're
by
crazy. You're swimming
40%.
during the winter
You would
months. Are you
assume that you would be
crazy?
more likely to catch bronchitis from swimming in cold water.
You know,
But
cold water. I can't get over it, bro. I'm sorry, but there's a superstition, you know, in the Mexican Mexican vicinity, man, the culture that it's been told to me a lot that like if you not even take a cold shower, but when you shower and you get out, you know, and this is a thing that moms will say too, you know, if you go out with this is different from the Mexican thing though. I heard it's like if you go out in the cold, you know, with wet hair, my mom said you go out with wet hair, you get sick. In the Mexican one, it's like if you don't dry your back or you go outside with a cold back, a wet back, I mean, um, like if you go out in the cold and your back is still wet, it's like it's not dry, that you'll get sick, like bronchitis and all that. But same as like if your bathroom is just too cold and you get out, you know, because you know how it's like you're in the shower, it's weird, it's still kind of warm, you know, you got the humidity, but then you open the curtain, get out, or the door with whatever you got, and it's like it hits you the cold. So it's like I've heard that gets you sick too from your back though. I don't know. Y'all tell me, man.
it turns out that the opposite is actually true. Of course, like many healthy things, exposing yourself to cold temperatures doesn't feel all that great while you're doing it, and it will require some mental toughness. Luckily, cold showers are by themselves a great way to improve mental toughness. Most people simply don't enjoy being exposed to very cold temperatures, but if you can overcome those feelings and do it anyway, that can increase your tolerance to being uncomfortable.
Yeah, but bro, I can do that in other ways. Like you do that in life anyway. Like this is not, you know, showers in a place where you enjoy the shower. You know, it's like it's supposed to be a relaxing experience. And when you're doing that, it's like torture, bro. Though, like I'm telling you, it's. Now I will tell you though, it's like there ain't no amount of coffee in the world. Like the amount of like how wide awake I felt when I was done. Coffee can't even get me. It don't matter. I could drink five pots of coffee, would not get me there. It was like I was like the most alert I've been in a long time. I mean, I was like wide awake, bro.
By doing things that are outside your comfort zone, you'll become more in control of your own emotions and you'll be more equipped to handle stressors that occur during everyday life. One very big believer in this is Wim Hof, and he's an extreme athlete that has been nicknamed the Iceman. He's set multiple records for the longest time in direct full body
Step over, Chuck Liddell. The new Iceman's in town. No, he's been around, I think, longer than that, but
with ice. One of his longest times being just under 2
dude,
hours.
that dude's a badass.
He also has broken other records like the longest distance swim under ice.
That's my nightmare, first of all, to be swimming and then, you know, you like the move, like you always, like you lose the hole of the ice.
And the fastest barefoot half marathon. Long story short, Hoff gives a ton of credit to cold exposure for increasing his mental toughness. And he believes that anybody can do the same. Now, another big benefit for those of you that are trying to lose weight is that
Mm,
cold exposure may actually
Excuse
help you
me,
burn
y'all.
fat.
I
When you're
apologize.
exposed to a cold temperature, brown fat gets
What's
activated.
wrong with me, man?
Brown fat, also known as brown adipose
I'm
tissue, is a
tired, y'all. I'm
special
about
type
ready
of
to go
body
to.
fat that produces heat to help maintain body temperature in cold conditions.
Okay.
This activation can cause a significant increase in your metabolic rate because the process
And your
requires a lot of
metabolism.
energy for the brown fat to keep your body warm. So by exposing yourself.
Hey, hey, hey. We love the brown fat too now. Come on, man. We don't do that here. We don't do that over here, bro. Don't be talking about no brown fat, white fat. I don't want to hear that shit.
To a
Let
cold
me stop,
temperature,
man.
either in the form of a freezing cold shower or an ice plunge, you could
Yeah.
temporarily ramp up your metabolism, and that can lead to additional fat loss. An example of this can be seen in a study in which a group of men stood in room temperature water at 68 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour. During that 1 hour in water that's far from freezing, they were able to
Water.
raise their metabolic rate by almost 100%. And when the researchers lowered the temperature to 57 degrees Fahrenheit, the men were able to boost their metabolic rate by 350%. Now, I'm sure this makes you wonder how high you can boost your metabolism in a much colder temperature like an ice bath. However, it's important to keep in mind that cold exposure can increase hunger in some people. So if you want to use ice baths or cold
That,
showers to
bro,
effectively.
that's me. That's me, motherfuckers. Bro, every winter I had the issue where like I'm working out, I'm doing great. I'm like getting lean, I'm getting in shape, right? And then the cold hits out of nowhere. Like my appetite just starts going up and up and up. And the more I'm out in the cold, the hungrier I am. And it's like I just pack on pounds out of nowhere. I know a lot of people do this, right? Pretty much everybody. But what I'm saying is it's directly correlated with the cold. It's almost as if my body's like, yo, like I know we lost weight, it feels good, whatever, but like it's cold out and I want to be warm. So put some fat on, put some layers on, put some pounds on to cover me up, man. Keep me warm in here, cause that you lose weight, that'd help me, bro. Like now I'm more exposed to the cold. Like I need that fat back. And hey. And it just does whatever it wants, man. Without I know it's crazy.
Assist with weight loss, make sure you don't eat more and accidentally raise your caloric intake after starting to expose yourself to colder temperatures. Now, the
That's the
last
hard
benefit
part for
before I
me,
get.
man. It's not raising my caloric intake at all during the winter. The beginning winter months.
You a step-by-step action plan is that cold therapy can also improve your
Mm.
endurance capacity by boosting mitochondrial biogenesis, which is basically a fancy
Mitochondria
way of saying that cold
hanging out in the
exposure can
laundry
increase the
mat.
number of mitochondria
Tell me
that
where
are
all the
found within
fat,
your
white,
cells.
trashy blondes be
Mitochondria
at.
are the powerhouses of your cells. They provide
Yeah.
energy by carrying out biochemical reactions and other
Okay.
cellular processes, which is why they're crucial for endurance
Biochemical, huh?
capacity. Mitochondria are what gives us the ability to use oxygen for energy production, which is why increasing the number of mitochondria benefits aerobic capacity or endurance. For example, in a study in which male runners were immersed in cold water at 50 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes 3 times a week, after 4 weeks of that routine, the men were able to increase mitochondrial biogenesis in their muscle tissue. Another study found that
Okay.
cold water exposure at 50 degrees Fahrenheit after high intensity
Water.
running increased PGC1 alpha, which is a gene that increases the number of mitochondria within muscle tissue. Now, as promised, I want to go over what you can do to start experiencing the benefits for yourself. Keep in mind there is no one best way to approach cold therapy. Some people will also require slower, more progressive steps to adapt to this new stressor. And with that said, it's important to also mention that more isn't necessarily better. If you're new to cold exposure, don't aim to be in an ice bath for 20 minutes at a time right away. Instead, take it slow. Start with a slightly cold shower. Then next time, make it a little colder. And just like lifting weights, you can make it more and more challenging to withstand over time. Alternatively, you can also start by turning the shower dial to the coldest temperature and only stay in there for a short 5 to 15 seconds. That's totally fine for your first time. And then over time, you could work your way up towards staying in the cold temperature for longer. Another route you can take, especially if you don't want to go straight into a cold shower, is to alternate between a warm and cold shower. This is also known as contrast therapy, which gives you the benefits of regular cold exposure, and it can also help you recover from your workouts. In fact, we even have a rather large 2017 meta-analysis that found that contrasting between hot and cold baths was able to help sports athletes recover faster from fatigue onset after their games. So you can switch between hot and cold, doing each for 60 seconds at a time, or to work up to that, you can start by alternating between 2 minutes under a warm shower, followed by a minute in the cold. You can do this for 5 to 8 rounds, and you'll probably feel
Fi
great when you're done.
five
The
day
last
rounds,
and my
my guy.
favorite way, when possible, is to use
Got
a
all day
sauna
now.
in combination with a cold shower or
Oh,
ice
I
bath.
wish I had a
This gives you
sauna,
the
bro.
option to do something like 10-minute
Or I had
rounds
the
of being in the
options. I don't
sauna,
have the
combined
option.
with a cold plunge or a cold shower in between each
Mm.
round. The theory behind alternating between warm and cold like this is that it causes the blood vessels throughout your body to quickly open and close. The warmth causes them to
Oh,
open,
okay.
the cold causes them to close. This rapid opening and closing of the blood vessels creates a pumping action that can decrease swelling, inflammation, stimulate the removal of waste products such as lactate, and it can also improve delivery of nutrients to your muscles. Once you become
Damn.
more accustomed to the cold showers,
Bro, who
you
would
can
have
try
thought?
an ice bath instead. This is obviously much colder and much more intense. But
Oh, yeah.
regardless of what option you start with, the recommendation from people like Wim Hof in regard to dealing with the cold is to focus on your breathing and to try your best to calm your body down as much as possible, almost like you're meditating. That's the best way to cope with the cold. So
Um,
that about wraps it up. I hope you guys.
bro, I hope y'all enjoyed. That was fire. I felt like who would have thought there's so many health benefits, man, to taking 30 days of cold showers. Now he just really was talking about cold plunges and cold showers in itself and saunas and that, but he really didn't say much about the actual just taking it for 30 days and then stopping. But obviously there's a lot of health benefits and inflammation number one first and foremost, man, because I know I got a lot of that myself. And not all the time, man, just because I'm working out really hard right now. So when I don't work out, I'm fine though. Like literally like the next day I'd be fine. But yeah, just a lot of soreness, man, stiffness. It's great to do stretches. Do that every day when you wake up, whether you're working out or not. I promise you it'll change your life. 15 minutes of stretching, man. Legs, thighs, calves, back. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, y'all. Y'all stay safe, stay out the way. Make sure you like if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button. No limit. Reacts, man. I'm going to catch you on the next one. All right. I'm gone.